Hi, this is Micah Clark with the American Family Association. I want to play a short interview we did today with Indiana Senator Jim Banks. We were able to catch him in between meetings, and I wanted to give you an update or have him give you an update on the big issue right now, which is the government shutdown. What's going on from his perspective, where this might end up. And he only had a few minutes, but I do appreciate we got 6 or 7 minutes with him and gave us some insight to what's happening and what may come of this when the government does reopen, which hopefully will be soon because there's some things he mentions that are real problems that are not getting funding, such as air traffic controllers, the military, and others. So, and of course, he addresses the welfare issue of food stamps too. But so I hope you enjoy this quick video today from Indiana Senator Jim Banks. Senator Banks, it's great to have you on. But with the shutdown going on right now, I know you guys have voted in the Senate 14 times to keep the government open. As I understand it, this is at current spending levels. Explain to our audience what's going on, what the Democrats want, what you guys are trying to do, and the problem with all of this, because the media is spinning this a little bit against Republicans now that SNAP benefits and food stamps are coming into play. And I know your Senate staff won't be paid next week. There's things happening, but tell us what's going on behind, not behind the scenes, but just explain to our audience so they can understand what's going on right now.
Yeah, you're right, Micah. This is the same spending level that Democrats voted for back in March, that we would just simply extend it for a short 7 weeks period of time. Of course, the government has been shut down now for weeks, so it's eaten into that period of time. But this is pure politics for Democrats, and everybody knows it. The media can spend this however they want. Democrats can spend it however they want, but Hoosiers see through it because Republicans have voted in the Senate now, as you said, 14 times to reopen the government, and Democrats have voted 14 times to shut down the government. And there are 3 Democrat senators who have come to their senses who are voting with Republicans. So we have 55 votes. We need 60 votes in the Senate to reopen the government. The House voted for the spending bill many weeks ago, and they've been back in their districts talking to constituents about the issues going on in Washington, the shutdown, and why the Democrats deserve the blame for it. But people's lives are really affected by this. The SNAP payments, of course, coming to an end. Many people who rely on that. Of course, you have the military greatly affected.
Yeah.
Secretary Exet and President Trump have found ways to keep our troops paid, but that's going to run out. And then you have air traffic controllers and TSA agents affected. On Monday alone, 7,000 flights were delayed because of the shutdown. And so there are real world impacts from all of this. But at the end of the day, there's no way around it. This is a Democrat shutdown. Chuck Schumer and the Democrats have shut the government down, and they're playing politics. I have a lot of theories that we could get into about why they're doing it, to answer your question, Micah, but this is pure politics on their end.
What are they demanding? Is there a uniform demand they're making, or is it all over the place? I know it's like $1.5 trillion.
Yeah, one big demand for $1 trillion to extend Obamacare subsidies at the COVID levels. And this should be infuriating for anyone, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat or independent. The Democrats want to spend $1 trillion. COVID is long over, but they want to spend another $1 trillion at those inflated COVID levels that will sink our country into further debt. And we all agree that healthcare is a mess. Obamacare was a disaster for this country. Premiums are way up. And next week, when open enrollment begins, those premiums are going to go up even more. What we got to do is come back to the table, reopen the government, come back to the table, and have our committees working. And I serve on the healthcare committee in the Senate. Let's talk about real ways to bring down the cost of healthcare. Subsidizing Obamacare at COVID levels isn't going to bring down the cost of healthcare for most Americans. So let's have a real conversation about that. But I think the Democrats are doing this because they hate Donald Trump. They want more chaos while Donald Trump is in the White House. They're not realizing that people see through it, and they know that the Democrats are causing the chaos, not President Trump and the Republicans. But that's what they're trying to do: cause harm and chaos and make people hurt because they don't like Donald Trump. But I think this is the first time I've ever seen in politics since I've been in politics that that a shutdown has happened and people see through it and understand that it's the Democrats' fault, not the Republicans' fault.
What do the Democrats think this helps them politically? Do they think this plays to their base? Is this because of the Virginia governor's race and New Jersey governor's race being close? Is there something that they think is going to be a win for them right now?
Well, I think they dug themselves in a hole. I mean, they started the shutdown. Now a lot of them are privately trying to find a way out of it because they know this is bad for them in the end. And by the way, all of the public government worker unions at the federal level in Washington this week, who by the way, all endorsed Kamala Harris and endorsed Democrats and vote for Democrats. Even they all said this has got to come to an end. It's hurting their workers, and they're calling on their Democrat senators who they all backed to come to their senses and vote to reopen the government. And by the way, the left-wing media, Washington Post editorial today,
I saw that.
Left-wing newspapers saying this is crazy, reopen the government. The Democrats are wrong to keep it shut down. So I think the politics is bad in the end for the Democrats, but they followed Chuck Schumer off the ledge and dug themselves in a hole. Now they're trying to find a way out, but I don't know what they get out of it other than they create more chaos. And a lot of them are privately talking about how can they bring this to an end. But you're right. Next Tuesday is election day, and New Jersey and Virginia Democrats are favored to win those states. So I imagine that on Wednesday they'll come out and say, make some kind of political case, even though inevitably I think those elections might not, and what are likely to be Democrat wins anyway won't be impacted by the shutdown. But maybe they'll come out and declare some kind of moral victory on Wednesday and reopen the government. But I'm not sure when that'll happen or what that will look like.
Jim, do you think anything long term comes out of this? Like, for example, do we ever get back to a place where we throw Obamacare out and start with something that's market based, that's not killing us financially, that's not costing us tons individually and as a nation? I mean, if Obamacare worked, we wouldn't be subsidizing it. Is there any upside win to this in the long run, you think, for conservatives?
You've nailed it. I mean, we have to have an adult conversation in Washington about bringing down healthcare costs, and Republicans want to have that conversation. President Trump wants that to happen, and Democrats, I hope they want to come to the table and have that conversation. It's all about competition and eliminating all of the regulations in healthcare that Obamacare brought about that have caused the sky high healthcare premiums that are going to keep getting worse until we truly address it. So I think that's one good thing that can come out of all of this. I don't think the shutdown was necessary for that to happen. I think that conversation was prime even before that. But the other good thing about this, Micah, and I got to be honest with you, I mean, Hoosiers are they're concerned about how big and bloated the federal government is anyway. And the Trump administration is the first administration in my lifetime that's broken the curve and decreasing the size and the scope of the federal government. And that you look at how bloated the government is, and the $1 trillion, what's our debt today is $38 trillion in debt. I mean, Micah, we spend more paying the interest on our national debt today every year than what we spend on the entire budget of the Pentagon. I mean, almost $1 billion just to pay the interest on our debt. So President Trump is the first president that we've had in my life that's been serious about, at least in the last 20 or 30 years, about bringing down the debt and addressing the size and scope of the federal government, eliminating programs. And the Democrats, through the shutdown, have given the OMB director, Russ Vought, and President Trump a lot of room here to permanently lay off government employees who are unnecessary and part of the federal government. And that's one silver lining of all of this too, that the Democrats have created that.
Well, I know you're in between meetings. I so appreciate you taking your time out of your schedule today for a few minutes to give us an update. Thanks for the great work you're doing. Keep fighting the good fight for families and for small government. And again, just appreciate you catching you between meetings today. I want to give people an update because this is a hot topic right now, but hopefully we will see the government reopen soon and reason will prevail. But again, thank you for your service, Jim.
Thank you for all you do as well, Micah. Talk to you soon.
Well, I hope that was helpful. Again, I want to thank Senator Jim Banks for joining us today. He was in DC, as you can tell, and he's in between meetings. I texted him in the morning and said, "Hey, any chance we could get 5 or 10 minutes with you to talk about this?" He was very gracious, and we set this up. And so I appreciate him joining us today. I hope that was helpful. Obviously, there's a lot of politics in this issue of the government shutdown. We'll see how that plays out. But there are some serious concerns about the government being shut down so long. I'm not a lover of government, neither is Senator Banks. We both want to see smaller government and waste cut. But I think this will at least help you see where maybe we're going and what will happen soon. But again, thank you for joining us today. And this is Micah Clark, the American Family Association of Indiana. Have a wonderful weekend.